Hey guys, it's Morgan. I am back with another update video, and so basically I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I have to start a video by just kind of giving you like a little bit about my day, what happened today, just to kind of take mental note of that, and then also like where I kind of am, what I'm doing in life. Also, I'm going to give you some weight loss stats, how I'm doing there, because that's why you're here. That's the main focus of my channel, is my weight loss journey. And then I'm going to talk just about my journey, and the most thing this is going to be about is my meal plan that I have, that I've been using, that has just done amazing things for me. So anyways, so today is March the 25th. Yesterday was my husband's birthday, March the 24th, and we had a great day, and I need to stop saying but what else? I haven't made a video in forever. I will say this, if you want to follow my weight loss journey on a daily basis, then follow me on Instagram, because I am much better at just documenting on Instagram. I basically post like several a day, just kind of like allowing for you to follow my day in, day out, kind of like the life in the day of or whatever. So day in the life of, I don't know. So anywho, yeah, so today we went to church. It is Sunday, and after that we got food, and after that we went to go see a movie, and we went to go see I Can Only Imagine, and I cried off every single bit of my makeup. The whole theater was like, it was just like synchronized sniffling through the whole thing. So it's really touching, and it's just been a good day. What else? So I think I also need to catch you up on, I did go to the doctors. I went to the doctors because starting this whole weight loss thing, I wanted to have like a base kind of blood work done to where I knew where my start point was. It wasn't exactly my start point. My start point was essentially like January 1st. I couldn't get into the doctors until like February 20 something maybe. And when I went to my doctors, I got all my blood work done. I told them I was on a weight loss journey. She was very much about, don't do low carb. She was like that. So I kind of had to like listen to what she said, and then also kind of like, you know what I mean? I will say that I, last time I had blood work done, which was a year and a half ago, probably before February, I had slightly high cholesterol, and it was just slightly high. It was just a little bit over what he would want it to be. So it was kind of like in the normal but the high range, and it went down slightly. So now it's totally normal. There's no like thing. The only thing is like, even though I had not eaten carbs or sugar since January 1, when I got my blood work back, my blood sugar, or A1C, what I think it's called, which is like test kind of like for like your, has something to do with your diabetes. I want to say the highest it is, the high peak of not good would be like 5.7, and mine was like 5.0. So even though I had not had sugar for well into like a month and a half or so, I still was on the high end. So hopefully as I lose, that will go down. What else? I got a referral to go to a gynecologist, a real gynecologist, not just like, you know, a general practice doctor who can do a pap smear. So I went to the gynecologist, talked to him about some stuff, and that referral didn't go through until like March. I got the appointment like March 13th. And basically they didn't, I told them that I had already had stuff done. They had checked everything, my blood work and everything. And they had told me before, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I went to the gynecologist, that I did not have PCOS or anything like that. And they said like my hormones were great. So the doctor checked me out, and he basically said he's not going to do any kind of like Clomid, or, because we are trying to get pregnant, right? So he said he's not going to do any drug. He did give me a little 10 milligram progesterone, which I've been taking, which he said is supposed to like help with stuff. And I know I'm being pretty vague here because I don't know exactly. And I'd rather just kind of keep it. I have another appointment with him because he's going to go in and just kind of check the environment of my uterus, which I'm a little bit afraid about. It's going to hurt, but he needs to go in there to see how everything looks. And so that is going to be March the 28th, which is in like 3 days, and I'm really, really scared. I need to call the doctor. I'm going to see if I can get a sedative. I actually watched some YouTube videos, and they recommended getting a sedative. So I'm going to do that, and I'll let you know how it goes. So what else? I don't know. I'm going to say, I don't know, really. And I'm supposed to be getting a period here pretty soon. And if I don't, then am I pregnant? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea to know. I do know I have been eating really good. I've lost weight. So right now I am in the 309 range. So I've lost about, and these are just approximates because I don't have a calculator and I don't weigh every single day. When I first started my weight loss journey, you lose weight so quickly and it's so motivating to step on the scale, but I don't want it to become like an obsession where like the scale is like the dictator. So I only get on the scale like maybe once every week and a half, 2 weeks, like not even weekly. Like I don't even weigh in weekly. And I don't even really feel like I have to because I can totally tell in other ways than the scale that I'm dropping weight. So yeah, I'm in like the 309, maybe I'm at 308, I don't know. I'm right around like 36, 37 pounds lost. And I'm super excited to hit that 40-pound marker just because 40 pounds to me, like a lot of times when I'm like, oh, 36 pounds, not that much. I've been on a healthy way of eating since January. So all of January, all of February, and almost all of March. So 3 months almost, and 30 something pounds. So I would say that's good. And it's not like a weight loss superstar. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, I lost 50, 60 pounds in 3 months. Like that's not me. Like that's not how it's working here. I'm just eating moderately. And yeah, so I'm happy where I'm at. I couldn't be happier. And another thing too, like I said, the scale is not moving as rapidly, but things are changing and I can feel it. I feel so much better. I feel very energetic these days and I feel very much like, just very physical. Like I can do a lot without getting winded. I can honestly tell you that everything is easier. Do you see this chip in my tooth? I hate that. I have a dentist appointment on April 10th, I think, and I'm getting her to give me an estimate. I'm getting that fixed ASAP. But anyways, I digress, but everything is easier. So I haven't even lost 40 pounds, but it feels like I've lost 100. A lot of times I hold myself to a very, I don't know what I'm looking for here. So I hold myself to a very impossible standard. It's basically like probably like perfectionism and it's not real, but sometimes like I am still at like 308, 309, like right around 310 pounds. So I'm a little less than 310, but I say to myself sometimes, you're 310 pounds. Like that's not okay. Like you should not be eating that or blah, blah. And like, I'm eating good. I'm eating fine. I'm staying within a nutritional boundary, and I'm doing fine. So I've just been learning to stop talking to myself like that because it doesn't get myself anywhere. In the past, 317 pounds was my utmost highest, and it was so uncomfortable at 317, and it was so miserable, and I felt so heavy. And now at 309, which is not that much below, I feel like I weigh like 150 pounds. Like I'm just running around, like everything just feels greater. So basically what I've learned is that it doesn't matter if you're 150, well, yeah, it does. 150 is healthy. It doesn't matter if you weigh 250, 275, 300, 317, 344, which I was. It doesn't matter what your starting point is. Like, it's the percentage, and like, if you lose like 4% of your weight or 10% of your weight, you're going to feel better. Even if you're like at 400 and 500 pounds, I guarantee you that losing a small amount, you will feel better. When I weighed 317 and I lost down to, 290, I felt just the same as I do now. I didn't feel, more healthier then. And maybe I did feel lighter, but I can't remember it. But I will say that everything is easier. I can do everything just as healthy as I can always remember doing it since like my 20s. So at 344 pounds, things got tough. Like I remember like walking up the stairs from the basement, then up these stairs right here to the bathroom, and I would be winded just to go pee. I would just go, holy crap, like I'm winded and I've only just like walked to the restroom. Like this isn't good. Like, and I'm gonna just TMI it really quick right now. It was difficult to wipe my own butt. Like it was just like a struggle to just contort and like get around myself. And I was like, are you kidding me? But that was honestly one of the things where I was like, this is crazy. This is just too much. And also, just dead honest here, at 344 pounds, it was difficult to, like, I like to take long showers. Like, nice, hey, I have a little guy. Hey, chill out. He's barky. He's gonna freak out. There's probably like a cat outside or something. But I would take long hot showers, and it got to the point where at 344 pounds, it was just a challenge just to stay standing up the whole time for the shower. I would catch myself like just sitting on the edge of the shower and just kind of like relaxing and like just spraying myself with water and just, like soaping up, sitting down because I was too heavy to carry my own weight. So those things were all, dogs and cats and dogs. Those things were all warnings for me. They were all like, those things were not cool. Those things were very much like, you keep going in this direction and your husband will be wiping your ass for you before you're 50, like before you're 45. Like that shit scared me. And part of my language, like I shouldn't talk like that, but it was that serious. And so those all kind of motivated me. And also the other thing too is like, hello, I'm 37, like we're trying to have a baby, like you're gonna mess it all up because you want to eat food. And the more I thought about how crazy that was, that you want to have a baby and you're going to mess it up because you think that McDonald's, or how disgusting is that, like McDonald's is like more, you have to have it or something, like no. So anywho, everything has gotten easier. Everything has gone back to normal. I can like run around and and have a ton of energy, and I just feel fantastic. And so therefore I haven't been super motivated to weigh myself. Like I weigh myself, but I'm not obsessed with the scale because just, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, I'm at peace with it. Like I'm just kind of like, it's gonna happen. So another thing too that's very highly motivational, and also another non-scale victory that keeps me like off the scale, because it's not about a number, right? The other thing is that my clothes are all fitting me much better. So when I was 344 pounds, so I'm one of those people who at like 280, I'm like a 3X, maybe a 2X, but still kind of a 3X. And then at like 340, which is like 60 pounds difference, well this time I was 344, I'm still a 3X. But the thing is that when I was 340 pounds, 344, I would buy clothes and I'd be like, yeah, this is size 5X at Target, but I want it to fit a baggy. And I'm still a 3X, but I'm not. Like my 24 jeans were snug and were so uncomfortable. Like there's no way I could wear them. And like even this, I don't know what size it is. I think it's a 3X, could be whatever, but that's not the point. The point is it got tight. Like a lot of my clothes were 3Xs, they were getting too small, and yet my brain was like, you're a 3X, like you're just like, they're not, you know, I don't know what I was thinking. And like today I had to wear 2 jackets. I have a shirt on under here, this, and then this is a 2X. So this is like Calvin Klein hoodie. It's inside out right now, but it matches this, and I had to wear 2 jackets today because it was cold in Georgia, which it's like summer one day and we're on our motorcycles and we're like, you know, like ready for the pool, and then like the next day it's like winter. So today was like winter. So I'm starting to fit back into like 3Xs are kind of getting a little tiny, like not tiny, but they're just getting a little bit roomy and just normal size, like comfortable. And I'm wearing jeans again, and what else? I guess I was already wearing jeans like in the fall and stuff before, but the jeans are just fitting better. And I am being able to fit down into 2Xs, and like clothes just look so much better on me. And like a lot of the clothes that I just kind of like retired for a little while in the back of my closet, I'm pulling it back out, and it's like a whole new outfit, and like I'm just like, yes. So that's kind of happening right now. And so yeah, everything's going good. Nothing is perfect, but I give myself like a little bit of an allowance for that. I'm getting ready to go to Texas here in about a week, and I think like the first week of April, Maya is gonna have some school vacation. We're gonna do Easter, and we're going to Texas just to go check on family. And I am so excited because Maya has always wanted a marmoset, which is a little monkey, and I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but they have the biggest sugar glider breedery in Texas. So we're gonna go visit it. We're gonna go see a sugar glider. We've never seen one. I think I've seen one in a mall, but we've never actually held one or petted one or whatever. And we're not gonna probably get one until the summer, because when she gets it, we want to get a young one so she can like bond with it over the summer while she's here all the time. So we're just gonna go see them and decide what kind of ones we like, and like, you know, do we want to get 1 or 2, or is this just not a good fit for us? So that's one thing we're gonna go do. Maya's gonna love it. Like, I'm super excited. Maya is literally, he's enough, right? He's enough pet. But Maya's like my home skillet, and we do everything, and I love her to death. And like, I am so excited. Like, I don't want to do anything with anybody, just hang out with her and like craft and like go to see sugar gliders. Like, I'm so ready for a sugar glider. So that's what's going on. I will keep you updated, and like I said, if you want to see like my everyday, like little things I do on a daily basis, because I do a lot, and I live a pretty, like, I'm not gonna say exciting life, but I live a pretty full life. And just follow me on Instagram. I actually changed my Instagram name. It's healthy.lifestyle. So follow me on Instagram. Not for anything major, like I'm not trying to sell you anything, just for motivation. And yeah, so now I'm gonna jump into the kind of like what I'm doing right now, in case you're wondering, and my food plan. And I'm just gonna let you know right now, my food plan is, yes, I'm keto. Essentially, I'm low carb, absolutely, and I'm mostly keto, except for I don't necessarily meet the fat requirement, and I don't really do the keto macros. Like, I just kind of like wing it, kind of, if you will, but all of my food is pretty much keto. So my food plan is in 3 parts. The first one is my foods, my allowed foods. And my second part is my limits and rules around food that I allow for myself. And then my last part is my actual kind of like food plan, which is kind of loose. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go through it and just kind of tell you like what I'm doing. So I'm gonna start with my allowed foods. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it up, and if you want to like pause it so you can like look at it, but yeah, it's all calligraphied out. But this is just my regular. I lost a nail today at the movies. Ugh. But I'm gonna go get them done again for Texas. So you can pause it right there, but I'm just gonna kind of go over it. So my protein foods that I allow myself to have. So I have basically limited foods. This is just what I eat like on a daily basis. This is it. So I feel like there's a lot of variety here, but depending on your eating habits, you may or may not think it's a lot of variety. So let's just get into it. For proteins, I eat eggs and I can eat egg whites. I eat beef, pork, chicken, turkey, fish, and shellfish. So on eggs, I generally will not eat more than 2 to 4 at a time. And if I eat 2, it's generally because I'm gonna have some other source of protein with it, or I'm going to, if I'm just having just eggs, I will eat 4. I will feel comfortable with that. If it's just eggs and it's just like in a meal. Beef, pork, chicken, turkey, shellfish, I will eat 4 to 6 ounces. I don't eat more than 6 ounces at a meal. And I guess I do weigh and measure my food because I want to know what I'm getting and what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, my calories. So yeah, I eat beef, pork, chicken, turkey, fish, and shellfish, shrimp, you know, all that good stuff. I do eat processed meats. Something in the future I might not do. I might be more optimal nutrition, which is kind of the direction I think I'm going. But for right now, just losing weight and trying to create a little bit of sanity and limits without feeling restricted, you know, right out the gate. So that's what I eat. I eat nuts, raw nuts. I eat like, I try not to eat too much peanuts, but I will eat almonds, cashews, pistachios. I don't really crave nuts or eat nuts that much. I don't find myself really snacking. Sometimes, like, I went to Jim and Nick's and I had a salad. It was like a brisket salad. I took the croutons off. It had walnuts on it, so I ate the walnuts. It was fine. I do occasionally eat peanut butter, but I don't catch myself really highly craving peanut butter. And if I did, then I'd probably remove it, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Almond butter, I have it. I haven't eaten it yet, but it's in my cupboard and it's like a permitted food. I do not eat soy. I try to avoid soy. I just don't eat it because, for the simple reason of, it tends to mess with your hormones a little bit from what I've heard. And it's not recommended for people who are PCOS, which I'm not. But I did, when I went and did my, when I went and did my blood work, I haven't got the results back yet. I just went on the 13th, so it should be back. But I do have an appointment coming up, so if there's any results, like I do or something, I'll let you know. But there is a little bit of hormone stuff because he did have to put me on a progesterone, so there is some hormone stuff going on. So I stay away from the soy. The soy is known to mess with your estrogen. I do eat Premier protein shakes, which are kind of expensive. They're like $7 and change for 4 of them. I think I'm gonna order a case off of Amazon, and I mostly just have them for on the fly, running out the house, eating, you know, needing to have a meal in my stomach so that I don't get too hungry to where I want to overeat or eat something that's not good. And then I also will use like certain protein powders, like Synthesix has like pretty low carb ones, and like Vega One. So protein powders, like I'm okay with it. Dairy, cheese. I do eat cheese, but I keep it pretty minimal. I don't crave cheese. Like, I just kind of get ganked out by it lately. I do like Baby Bell cheeses. I will use it in some dishes. Like, yesterday for my husband's birthday, I made him lasagna, and so I made myself like a little bowl of like sausage and hamburger with the sauce on it, and it was all weighed and measured, and just way so I know I'm not eating like too many carbs. And I did put a little bit of ricotta and some mozzarella in there, so I will eat cheese, but I don't like go for the cheese. Like, I don't really do that much cheese. Like, it's really just not my thing. I use heavy whipping cream. Heavy whipping cream is something I was using every day for my keto coffee. At most, I use 4 tablespoons at the very most, and that's with like a pretty big coffee. Usually I can just get away with 2 tablespoons. When I go to Starbucks, just FYI, if you're going to Starbucks, like, one thing I see, like, if you are trying to like low carb you're trying to be low carb, or you're actually trying to say you're keto or do keto, the number one area I see people messing up with is Starbucks. The sugar-free syrups at Starbucks are a no-go. Hi, Lola. She's so cute. But speak a weird language. But anyways, it's very, very, very rarely that I'll eat a sugar-free vanilla syrup or any of the sugar-free syrups. Like they have maltodextrin in it, which is some kind of like filler that they use to mix with, like, for example, if you drink Pure, it's spelled Pyure. It is a it is a non-GMO organic stevia erythritol blend. And if you drink that, if you eat that, it's like 0 carbs, 0 glycemic index, 0 maltodextrin. That's for the granulated variety. If you eat the other variety, which is like the baking variety, which I do have it in my cupboard, never used it, that has maltodextrin in it. And what maltodextrin does is it spikes your blood sugar damn near like sugar. Maybe even almost worse. I don't remember. But it like skyrockets your insulin, which will mess up your keto. It will knock you out of ketosis. It is going to cause cravings, and it will set back your weight loss. For me, it does. And so all the time I see people who are like, got my coffee at Starbucks, keto. I'm like, no, it's not. Because it's really just not. And another thing, do not get the almond milk at Starbucks and think that you're getting a keto anything, because the almond milk and other milks, they get the sweetened almond milk. So the almond milk at Starbucks is sweet. It's the, you know, the vanilla sweetened, not the unsweetened one. So you're getting sugars, and it's not keto. So essentially the only coffee I get at Starbucks, and I would even be okay with getting it at Dunkin' Donuts as well, is just a plain iced coffee. Or you could get just, you know, a different variety of coffee. You can get blonde, or you can get Americano, or wherever you want. But then I get a splash of heavy whipping cream just based off of making it at home. I'm going to say it varies on who's doing it. Between 2 and 4 tablespoons is a splash, or maybe even less, just like... And I add my own stevia to it, which I bring with me, and I'm getting no calories, and I'm getting fat. So yeah, and at home I've been actually drinking my coffee with cashew milk. So cashew milk I find to be a little bit creamier than almond milk, and I really like it in my coffee. What I was going to say is the heavy whipping cream, I was using it daily, and that's one of those things where if I use it daily, especially, the very least I can do is make sure that it doesn't have any like really bad chemicals in it. One would be carrageenan, so I spring for the more expensive heavy whipping cream, because if I'm drinking it every day, like, I just don't want that in my body every single day. Carrageenan is not good for you, and you can look that up. I'm just not gonna, this video is getting long. So I do eat well, there's a couple kind of yogurts I will eat. That looks so bad. I can't wait to get this now. I'm gonna get them all done. Greek yogurt, the Faye Greek yogurt, we'll eat it. You can add strawberries to it. You can still stay under keto. I wouldn't eat blueberries. They're pretty high in calories, or not calories, but sugar. Dash Weenie. That's my baby. That's my baby, Dash Weenie. What doing? So I do eat the Faye, and also I do like the Dan & Oikos 000 vanilla, because it's made with stevia. So there's not a lot of ingredients in it. There's no artificial sweeteners. It's just with stevia, and it's so good. And I like it. It doesn't make me like crave them. I just like, you know, and I'll get into that in a minute. I keep talking about cravings and stuff, so I will get into that in a minute. I eat sour cream cheese, but I eat cream cheese like next to never. Like maybe like once a month I'll just like make a keto pancake. Unsweetened almond milk, cashew milk, cottage cheese rarely, and Halo Top, I will eat that. Enlightenment, or like one of the other like keto kind of ice creams. Fat, I eat butter, olive oil, avocado oil, MTC oil, ghee. Every once in a while I'll have like a keto coffee with like ghee and MTC oil, and it's all good. avocados, mayo, and salad dressings. I make sure my salad dressings have no sugar. I like the Newman's Own Caesar, which is like a oil and vinegar kind of Caesar with like it's no carbs. And then they also have like an oil and vinaigrette. I use that. So yeah, and I will use ranch occasionally, but mostly I just use the Newman's Own. It's like an oil and vinegar. That's it. And it's fine. It tastes really good. So whatever. Grains, I literally only eat one grain, and I do not eat bread at all. We eat out, like I definitely don't eat the bread ever, and if we do on the go, if I do need to grab like a burger, which is rarely, I do not eat the bread at all. The only grain I eat right now is I eat low carb tortillas. They're by the brand called Los Banderitos or Los Banderitas or something like that. They are 5 carbs per and 50 calories per. And I have a limit to this, which when I get into my limit, I'll tell you, but I'm actually going to tell you now, so I might repeat this. But I have a max of 2 per day. So I can eat them at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, but I will never eat more than 2 per day just because I don't want to like go too hardcore. And I don't know if they're made with flour or cornmeal. I don't know. I think they're a flour tortilla, but that's the only flour product I eat. It just makes it easy for me to grab it on the go, but I'm not, since, I don't know, it just works for me with that limit around it. Like I don't seem to like crave them or want like a crap ton of them or like overeat them, and so that's what I'm doing. Vegetables, I have 0 limits as long as they're not starchy vegetables. Like I don't eat like, you know, starchy vegetables like french fries or potatoes, or I don't eat corn, I don't eat sweet potatoes, I don't eat starchy vegetables. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I just eat a lot of like regular vegetables, not starchy. So then fruit, only eat one kind of fruit really, which is a lemon. I would eat strawberries on occasion, like just like a couple, like 3 to 5 strawberries. And then I have some extras that I eat, but I eat it very sparingly. So mustard, sugar-free ketchup. Let me show you this side. I don't know if you can even see it. I'm going to try to make it straighter. So you can like pause it if you want to and look at it. So mustard, sugar-free ketchup, Zevia, Coke Zero, rarely, not in the house. If we're at a movie, I will have a Coke Zero. If we're at a restaurant, I'll go ahead and have a Coke Zero. Bragg's liquid aminos, sugar-free barbecue sauce. They have one at Walmart that's really good. Sugar-free pancake syrup. Like I said, I literally eat a keto pancake like maybe once a month. I've only eaten them like a couple times in the last like 3 months, so it's very rare. Powerade Zero. I love Powerade Zeros, and I swear they used to be made with erythritol, but I recently looked and they're made with like acesulfame, which is like an alcohol sugar, much like aspartame, and like I try to avoid it, so I'm probably gonna have to cut those out. They're on here, but that's something I'm gonna have to work on. Quest bars are a treat. I don't find myself overeating them or craving them. I have them in the house. I brought one to the movie today. If we're going on a long trip or a drive or something, I might take one along with us. They're usually around 190, 160 calories a piece. They are low carb. They're like 4 or 5 carbs per. I use spices and salt, but I make sure they have no sugar or no MSG. I avoid MSG. I do eat BCAAs, pre-workout if I'm working out, water and tea. And that's it. That's it. My whole entire diet fits on this. Like, this is it. I don't eat anything else but these things. But please believe me when I tell you, if I didn't pay pretty close attention and have like a nutritional kind of boundary, then I probably could stay overweight on this. I don't know. I've never tried that though. That's interesting. So I kept talking about cravings and stuff. And so one of the reasons that the keto thing kind of works for me, this video is getting real long, really quick. Ugh, I hate that. Like I hate long videos, but I'm just going to keep going, whatever. So I keep talking about craving, and one of the thing is that when you do keto, you cut out so much gluten and carbs and everything that you get a whole new feeling or sensation, or you get a new experience and a whole new outlook on food and cravings and stuff in general. And what I mean by that is that if you were to just start a excuse me. They're so crazy. If you were just doing something like eating balanced, or I really don't buy into the, well, you know, the thing is this. I cannot speak for everybody. I feel like some people can just eat whatever in small quantities, and they can be really sane with the food choices they make, and like really normal. Like they can do things like, I'm going on vacation, so I know I'm gonna eat a lot, so I'm like really cutting back this week. I don't know. They just do all kinds of stuff that like I just could never really figure out and do, and it just doesn't work for me. So what I'm basically trying to say here, I know I'm being very wordy. So I feel like some people can eat anything and just eat it in moderation. For me, I cannot. Like, it creates a whole cycle of, I don't know if it just, it keeps me on a kind of like a craving. I just crave, you know what I mean? Like, I just start wanting unhealthy things. But if I don't eat those certain things that creates that, then I seem to never really want them. Like, I don't eat things like Oreos or cookies or cake or pie, and I still can satisfy my sweet tooth with like a Dannon Oikos 000 or a keto pancake, or, but I never really want them. And like, if I were still ingesting processed sugar foods, then I would want more of them, and I can't really control that. So let me just basically, this is what I'm trying to say. I came to this conclusion because there were moments throughout my life when I decided to eat healthy, and usually about a week into eating healthy, like the first 3 days would be miserable, but I would be so highly motivated that I could push through that. And then they never lasted long, these diets. You know, I'm talking about from the time I was like, I want to say 27 or so. So like in the last 10 years, I would recognize this. Like I would go on a diet. The first 3 days would be absolutely miserable, but I had so much motivation that it was like pushing me through it. And by day 7, I would have these really, you guys, I would have these really amazing moments of absolute clarity. It was like this weird freedom from, I'm gonna say like a food addiction. And I remember just like, you know, eating a salad or something and just later being like, why was it so hard for me to not overeat? Like it would almost be this like weird question, like, why am I fat? Like, why did I ever eat all that food? What was I thinking? I was just so befuddled. And I think this might be a little bit challenging to understand, but I'm sure there's some people who are watching this, but I had those moments where I would be on a diet for not that long, 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days, and I would be eating healthy, and then all of a sudden I would have this like clarifying freedom of this lifting of this obsessive food behavior or addiction to food, if you will. I don't know if that's a real thing. I remember, I can actually break this down to, I remember it. I remember, okay, this is getting really deep. I remember the first time that ever happened. I remember being like young, like 3 or 4 years old. And I remember being obsessed with food, absolutely freaking obsessed, to the point where I would want it all the time, all day, every day, all day, every day, all day, every day. I would wake up at Saturday morning before TV came on, and that was a thing, right? Before TV came on, it was like the lines and Pledge of Allegiance, and I would wait. I would be up, awake, and the first thing, stop it with your creepy looking eyes. I would be awake before anybody on a Saturday morning, and I would wait for that flag and that national anthem thing to come on, because it was just lines. And when that flag came on, then I knew it was okay for me to wake up my mom, because she told me to wake me up if you're up on Saturday until TV comes on. And so I'd wake up my mom, because we had a rule, because I was totally obsessed with food. We lived with my grandmother, and I ate like crap. I ate a lot of like Fig Newtons and juice and coffee milk and chocolate milk, and I don't even think I had started school yet at this point. I think I was that young, but I can remember it. And I remember I was obsessed with bologna sandwiches on Wonder Bread with mayonnaise, with sour cream and onion chips, and sun-kissed orange soda. That was my jam. That was what I lived for. I could eat that all day, day in and day out. Now I know every kid, even now, they have like their thing, like mac and cheese or this or that. That was my jam. And my mom made a negotiation with me. My mom is very thin. She's been skinny and healthy weight all her life. Her negotiation was, you can eat it on Saturdays. That's it. For breakfast. That's what I ate for breakfast. That's what I lived for at 4 years old. That was like my thing. So I've always known that I've had an issue with food. It stems back from childhood. And here's the deal. At one point when I was about 4 years old, before I started school, my mom and my dad and myself and my little sister, we moved to Maine to go live with a different grandmother for a little while. I think my dad might have worked there or something like that. So we lived there. I remember thinking to myself at 4 years old, thinking, what? I used to love those sandwiches and stuff, but now I don't really care. I wake up and I don't really care. I don't really want food. Like, I'm not obsessed. Like, there was an obsession lifted. And the difference is that at one grandmother's house, I ate donuts and pies and cakes and sweets and bread, French fries, fried, everything, every single day. And at this grandmother's house, it was fresh, and it was vegetables, and it was canned, and it was gardened, and it was like, you know, meats and vegetables. And I remember like, oh, Saturday morning we're gonna go downstairs to grandma's, and we're going, because we lived in like an apartment above, and we're gonna make pancakes. But I was never ever given it so much that it became an obsession. And then I remember we were moving back because I'm gonna start kindergarten, and I remember my mom, and she literally sat me down. I was like 4 years old, and she sat me down, and she said, Grandma Lewis is gonna offer you some food, and you don't have to eat it. You can say no. And she had this like nice little sweet talk to me, and I was like, okay, yeah. Because I was a big 4-year-old for that era, you know what I mean? Not that big. I wasn't like nowadays, like, but back in the 80s, I was like, you know, I was pretty chubby. I might show you a picture one day. I'll post it on my Instagram, so come look at it. So I remember we drove all night from Maine to Rhode Island, and we got back, and sure enough, we walked in the door, and my beautiful, plump Grandma Lewis, who I love dearly, who was she was my everything. She was like my other mother. And we came in, and she was cooking. It was probably 11 o'clock at night, but she had the food ready, and she made my dad's favorite meal, and it was hamburgers in a cast iron skillet, and then over here in the other cast iron skillet, it was French fries, just cooked in oil, just like this, you know, just cooked. Like she didn't bake them or fry them, she just cooked them in butter, and they were crispy and good. She gave me a big thing of fries and a hamburger like for a man, and I put ketchup on it and I ate it. And she said to me, Morgan, do you want another hamburger? And I looked across the table at my mother. I looked at her and she said, and I said, yeah. And she put another one in there. I was off to the races again. And after that, I was sure enough obsessed. I would cry and whine. I could not wait from one meal to the next. And I have been like that my whole life. Like I have just, yes. So what happened was in adulthood, when I would go on these diets, I would all of a sudden have this clarity of, why do I like to eat again? So when I did HCG before, which I've done the HCG thing, it's a very restricted, kind of like low calorie. So yeah, you lose weight. But it wasn't the weight loss that was fascinating to me. It was all of a sudden this clarity of mind, this lifting, and that happened. And then now when I went on keto last time, when it went on keto this time, it clears away this really, really obsessive stronghold that food has on me. And I will honestly say this. I never drank when I was 20, 21, 22, 23. I never went through the drinking phase. I went to the club a couple times. I just never really cared. I never went through it. When I was like 27, I went through a pretty rough patch. I left a relationship, just a lot of stuff, like rough stuff in my life. Like I moved, and I drank. Like I started going out. Like I was single. Like I started going out and I started drinking, and I never ever crossed a line. But I mean, I really honestly didn't drink that much, but there was something about alcohol that I could tell that my system loved. I've never ever liked marijuana. I've never tried any other drug, but alcohol, it just sat right with me. And I was never an alcoholic. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that I have, I think, an alcoholic's brain. My mom's family has a lot of alcoholism over there. And I remember being like 27 or 28 and telling my mom, I don't really drink because I know I'm an alcoholic waiting to happen. Even if it's just like, I'll just have like, you know, a few drinks. Like sometimes I don't know when enough's enough. So this is at 27. So I just knew. So I think it's the same way with food. And I'm just kind of piecing it together. I've done a lot of like just reading and podcasts and just stuff. And like I can just feel like I'm starting to get to the root of what this is. And I feel like it's more than just a diet. I feel like it's so much more than that. So this list of foods that I eat, they're all pretty much keto. I do keto because I know that I have an adverse, sugar is not for me. Bread is not for me. It has bad things that happen to me. And maybe it's a combination of the flour with the sugar, with the fats, with the butter. I don't know what it is, but there's certain foods I just can't not eat in moderation. And so I don't. So that's where this comes into play. So then I created myself some limits and rules around food. Some of these I am following to a T, and some of these they have just proven to be impossible for me, and I really need to reevaluate this, but I'm not going to reevaluate it until after Texas. I'm sticking with this because it's been working. So my daily calorie target is 1651. 1,651 is my daily calorie target. At that, I lose about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds per week, and which adds up to 5-6 pounds or more a month. My absolutely daily calorie max on any day, because there are some days where I'm just gonna max, is 1,800, because at 1,800 I might only lose like 0.5 pound a week or something, but I'm not gaining. And that's one thing that I have to put into perspective for myself, because with me, my whole life, I'm either gaining or I'm on a diet. There's no in between. I'm either off to the races or I am restricting and going crazy. And either way, it's a form of crazy, like no lie. And you might think I'm being harsh by using words like crazy, but there's nothing not crazy about it. It's crazy when you're obsessed and you're for bologna sandwiches. So 1800 is my max because not gaining is a success. It really literally is. And if you're a bigger person and you can relate to that, like either you're gaining or you're dieting, then just not gaining is really a success because there's no middle ground. Like for me, there's no middle ground. Like there's no middle ground. Like if I put all of this to the side and say, screw it, I'm sick of, living with a meal plan or with I don't care anymore, it's too hard, I'm gradually gaining. Like I am definitely gaining, and it starts out slowly and I don't even notice it, and the next thing you know, you're 344 pounds, and the next thing I would have known, I would have been 350, 363, 380, 391, and then I would have been freaking out, but I wouldn't know how to change it, and I wouldn't know what to do, and I would just be so befuddled and demoralized. And I've hit that a lot of times, and I know people watching this have been there. I'm not the only one. So the next thing is this one is a little hard to follow to a T, but it is one of my limits, and I'm not doing it perfectly, but my limit, this is another limit I have for myself, which is a meal calorie max, which is 600 per meal max. So my reasoning behind this was so that I don't give myself an excuse to binge. I find that on keto, I give myself an excuse to binge. Coffee, 1,400 calories in one sitting. And that, my friends, is usually a very high calorie meal. Like it really is. Like, so this, sometimes I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm hitting like 700 or 650 or sometimes 8 maybe in a meal, in a big meal, but I am limiting myself, and I'm not, I would call it intermittent fasting, and I loved intermittent fasting. I can just go back to my old ways, which is where you just like coffee, stimulant, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just restrict. I like that feeling of that restriction, and then binge. That was my goal. Like every day I got my binge. Like I can have a problem with food, but I can still get my daily binge, and I had to kind of quit that because intermittent fasting is great for a lot of people. Weight Watchers is great for a lot of people. Everything you want in moderation is great for a lot of people. This is just for me, okay? So this is what I'm doing. I weigh and I track and I measure. So I weigh, I measure. If I don't have a weigh, if I'm home, I weigh. Like I use a measuring cup. Like I use a scale. Like I said last night, my husband had lasagna. I had a big meal of lasagna, but I didn't eat the noodles. I just had like some meat sauce, 1 cup, half a cup of mozzarella cheese, like a third of a fourth of a cup. So I did that a few times. I got like not even a fourth of a cup of ricotta. But I was measuring this, and the app that I love, let me find my phone. I have been, I could do a zillion videos in one, I swear, but the app I have been using, because I've tried them all, tried Lose It, tried MyFitnessPal, tried LifeSum, tried Chronometer, even paid for Chronometer, but right now my jam is this one. Let's just make a guru of this guy, but I don't think I can. It's called My Net Diary, and you really can't see it. There we go. So that's my day so far, guys. So I still have a few calories to eat, and there we go. I love this one. Now the color is all weird. I love this one because it's visual. It's highly motivational because it gives you like analysis on target, losing 7.5 ounces daily, 2.9 pounds weekly, 12.3 pounds a month. that will go up. That will change that analysis because I probably eat a couple hundred more calories. I'm at like 1186. My target is 1604. As I lose weight, my calorie budget goes down, which is okay. And then also down here, I don't know if you can see the bottom part. Let's see. Okay, weird. See there. I haven't typed in my new goal, but hold on. See these things? Hold on. Okay, there we go. So that little dotted line, that's 1600 and whatever. So the dotted line changes, it goes up and down. But anyways, the color go back. It just lets you know if you're on target. It's highly visual. I love it. I haven't bought the other version of it. I do want to hook my FitnessPal to it. And I haven't yet, but I want to. So I need to do that. So that's what I use. So I weigh and I measure and I track my food every single day. Every single day, like I said, I have 1800 max. So some days I get close to that and I go over my calorie budget. But having that in place works for me because it's forgiving. And I think I need to give myself some grace here because I'm not perfect and I'm not trying to be perfect. And I'm just trying to do moderation and consistently. I cried off all of my makeup in that movie theater, I swear to God. I allow myself, okay, so we're still on limits and rules. 3 meals a day. I try to force myself to eat moderately 3 times a day. It doesn't always happen, but I think it's a good thing for me because it prevents me from getting so hungry that I have to go eat out or eat like a burger without the bun, because I try to stay away from like fast foods because it's just not that great for you, but it's okay if I have to, you know, but I eat 3 meals a day. I try to eat meals. So if I'm leaving in the morning, I will try to grab a Premier protein or make a quick protein shake and grab like some nuts or something. And so that way I can try to force myself to eat 3 meals a day instead of like, it's actually hard for me to eat 3 meals a day. That's like my weakness. That's what I'm imperfect at it, like, but I'm trying to work on that. And also I'm one of those people who I have to eat, I can't go to bed hungry. I used to, sometimes if I'm really, really hungry at night, I can't sleep. So I allow myself to have, if I'm hungry at bedtime, I'm okay with that. Like I have a little small meal. Like it usually is a yogurt or 1 yogurt and 1 Baby Bell cheese, or it can be 1 yogurt and 1 low carb tortilla with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter on it. Hold on. Lola has a really bad hyperventilation thing she does. My vet said it's something little dogs have sometimes. Oh, that feel good? I'm scratching her back. She loves it. She has dry skin right now. Let me put some olive oil on your back. Yes, it feels so good. No sugar. I do not eat sugar in any form, except for it's a little bits in my spaghetti sauce or something like that, then okay, but I try to make sure it's like down far in the ingredient label, or just try to make sure it doesn't have any added sugar at all. Like I love no added sugar, everything. I limit my carbs. I don't eat rice. I don't eat carbs really so much. I don't eat whole grains. Like I just feel fine without it. Yeah. And I have a 2 coffee a day max. It's not hard to limit myself to 2 coffees a day, and I can live with it. Low carb tortillas, 2 limit per day. Why? It's the only flour ingredient I eat. It has not caused me a problem with cravings or obsessive food thoughts, so I allow it. And I also have a vegetable requirement, which is 2 cups mandatory vegetables per day. So usually I have it at 1 meal, lunch or dinner. If I go out for lunch and it's a big salad, then hey, I've met my requirement. It's a way to make myself eat more vegetables, because I recognize that a lot of times, like on keto, like I could just miss them and I'm fine. Like, but I don't want to be like that. I want to be healthy and whatever. My macros, I try to stay under 20 grams of carbs a day. Adds up even with vegetables, and I try to do about, I don't know, I think it's like 80 grams of protein or 85 or something like that, and then like 100 and something grams of fat. So that's basically where I am with that. I can actually show it to you. So yeah, and these macros, these aren't accurate, but that's what I was trying to like remember what my daily ones is, but that's basically it. See how I have no Coke Zero in there? That's what I was doing. No Coke Zero, no aspartame. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I don't bring it home. I don't buy it at the grocery store, but at a movie theater, I just break down. At a restaurant, sometimes I just break down. So I just, instead of like holding myself to that, and I couldn't do it, and I'm, you know, I just said, okay, cool. I'll just leeway myself a little bit on that one and give myself a little bit of a, okay, you can do that for now. We will revisit that in the future. One thing I want to say is this meal plan is not permanent throughout the duration of my life. I plan on revisiting it. There's probably some things I need to remove. There's probably some things I need to add. So that will happen. But for right now, this is what I'm going with. So now I have an actual kind of like a meal plan that I try to go with. And I must eat 3 meals a day. I require that. I used to kind of be like, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat, but I require myself to eat 3 meals a day. Does it always absolutely happen? Not necessarily. It doesn't always happen. And sometimes I wake up and like, I have like a wrap with like chicken or turkey meat on it and a little bit of mayo and some lettuce and tomato or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that was breakfast, but it doesn't matter. Like if I feel like having that, it's still breakfast. So it's fine. Cool. So, basically breakfast, I try to do a protein, I try to do a dairy, and I try to do a fat. So my fat can be just, it's hard to explain. It can be like the butter in my eggs or whatever. I can have a couple of eggs and I can have like 2 strips of bacon. The dairy is usually my heavy whipping cream in my coffee, or it can be yogurt, and it's just, there's so many different things with, I mean, there's a lot of variety. I think it's enough variety. Like this is just, I feel fine eating like this. This is just what I do. Lunch is the same thing. 1 protein, 6 ounces max. At breakfast, I don't eat more than 4 ounces of protein. And then for lunch, I have like a couple of dairy, which is like basically like, when I say 2 dairy, I mean like a half a cup is a dairy. And so when it says 2, it's like a cup. So basically I'll have like a cup of coconut milk, not coconut milk, cashew milk or almond milk. And I don't know if this makes any sense, but anyway, I'm trying my best. And then for lunch, I have like a fat serving, which is like a mayonnaise, or it can be like whatever. And my vegetables are unlimited, so I can have whatever I want for vegetables. Dinner, my protein max, I don't max out 6 ounces of protein at any meal. If it's a steak, it's 6 ounces. If it's a burger, it's 6 ounces, or I can have like 1.5 or something like that if it's a smaller burger. I can have dairy, and I can have a fat, and I can have vegetables unlimited, but I have to meet 2 cups of vegetables a day. That is something I hold myself to. So I try to do that my absolute best. And my carb tortillas, you know, my low carb tortillas, you know that. And also my cheat meal options. I don't really use these. I used it a little tiny bit. I ate like 1 small potato on St. Patrick's Day, but these are my cheat meal options. I allow myself 1 cheat meal a week. I hardly ever take it. I don't really feel the need. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like I'm craving anything, but these are my cheat meal options. Yellow or red potato, 1 cup max, okay? Oatmeal, 1 cup max. Carrots, 1 cup max. Sweet potato, 1 cup, or like a half of a sweet potato, a big one like a half. 1 banana, 1 piece of fruit, or 1 cup of fresh fruit without the sugar added. I literally have not had oatmeal since January 1st. I've never done it. I love oatmeal, but I just don't feel, you know, but I might actually try it and see if it causes me an issue or if I should incorporate that in. Like I said, on St. Patrick's Day, I had like one small potato and like a couple little pieces of carrot. And I had ham and cabbage, and that's all I had. But then I had that, and that was considered my cheat. Like, I really didn't even feel like, I have not had a single solitary banana, and I love bananas, and here I am giving myself an optional cheat meal, and I just don't take it. What I have used my cheat meal on is I have had French fries, just a couple here and there, like literally like 10 fries. Like, it'll just be like a thing. Like, I'll just like have like a burger with my husband, and I won't eat the bread, and I'll have like 10 of his fries. So I consider that like my cheat. And yeah, that's it. So like my cheat pretty much goes towards fries, which has only been a couple of times. So yeah, I will actually show you this if you want to. And if you want to pause it and look at it and read it. So basically, how did I come up with this? A lot of research. And basically I just did a lot of research on food addiction, and I looked up a lot of websites. Like, I even looked up Food Addicts Anonymous. They had different, like, that's where I learned the word metabolic adjustment, which is like a midnight snack, kind of like. So anyways, I just do a lot of research and read a lot and study a lot. I'm currently reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I kind of am taking a two, I don't know the word I'm looking for here, but I'm kind of taking like a 2-phase kind of approach, because I don't necessarily think food is like my absolute problem. I think that I have a problem with food, but I don't think food is really the problem. I think that I use food for a lot of reasons, a lot of emotional reasons. I eat for everything. I don't just eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm like super happy. Like, sometimes I can't, I don't think I ever learned how to like really process emotions sometimes. So I just eat, and it mellows me out, dulls me down, calms me down. And like I said before, I feel like I have like an alcoholic kind of brain, so I probably was like using food in a addictive alcoholic kind of way. And so it's just my experience is very different. So, you know, let me just say this too. When I started out this weight loss journey, like in 2013 or something, I really had like the best of intentions and put forth my best effort, and I failed at it. And only thing is, I never gave up, and I always look and research. I'm kind of like a learner. Like, I love, like, it's just me. Like, I love studying. I love keeping, don't you love, that's not pretty. I love writing and journaling, and it's just my personality. Let me just give you an example. Hold on. See, like, just in my living room right now, this is one of the books I'm reading. And when I read, I study. Like, I have a test tomorrow. Like, I highlight, I write down quotes and notes. And it's just like, I just couldn't ever give up. Like, I just felt like if I just researched enough, then I'll figure it out. And I felt like I've been on this like lifelong mission to figure out like, what is going on with me? Like, why do I have this? Like, why do I have this affliction or this like thing where it's like it's controlling me and I can't figure it out? And I can figure out anything. Like, I can figure it out. Like, we're gonna get this done. Like, I put my mind to it and I achieve it. And like, I've always been an achiever, and I've always, you know, it just eluded me for so long. And like, I feel like this video is gonna be so long, but I feel like I've really done a lot of work, and just so much has changed in me. And all I will say is I can just name so many things that have changed me. Like, I can remember one major thing back in like 2013. I remember a friend of mine, I forgot her name, but she said to me, she said, "Don't you think that all of us are super selfish?" And I was like, what? I was like so offended. I was like, excuse me? I was like, I am not selfish. I am the most giving, generous, kind-hearted, big-hearted person I know. I do more for people than anybody I know. And that was so, it was true. Like, I'm very nice and giving, and I look out for everybody. And I thought I had a big heart, but there was something about getting married that really shook my ass. And it just made me look at my motives and how, like, I was the center of the earth. Like, I was the center of the universe, and everybody revolved around me. And, like, I just felt like, you know, like when you get married, you have no idea what you're getting into. But it really, really just solidified my own selfishness. And you cannot be married and be selfish. It's just not going to happen. Like, my world cannot any longer revolve around me. And sometimes I kick and I fight and I scream with, not him, but like myself. Like, yeah, like I just want my way. But I just, you know, when you're married, you have to, when you love somebody, like really, truly love them, you just forgive a lot and you put somebody else up there, and you really care, and you really, really, you lose your selfishness. Either you lose your selfishness, or I mean, this is just my own experience, but you grow out of your selfishness and you become willing to put someone else in front of you, or you get divorced. Like, there's no way you can be selfish and want what you want. Oh my God, it just, if you have a mentality where you're like, I deserve to be happy and I deserve to be loved, and like, yeah, everybody wants to be loved, like that's just a want, you know, I deserve better and like all this other stuff, like no, like literally, like, you, to get love, you have to give it, you have to give your truest love. And like, it's just so funny, like when I just see like, I deserve to be happy, I'm just like, do you really? I mean, like, isn't it kind of like, I'm so grateful that I have happiness, or have like this, or whatever it is, like someone to love me, or a roof over my head, but like, do you really deserve it? Do you really deserve, like, there's so many people who are out there in like third world countries who are like, you know, born into like war torn, like horrible genocides, and it's like, they don't deserve, you know, like shelter or safety. So, you know, I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent. But anyways, I just grew up so much, and part of this journey has been emotional growth. And so I don't know who said it, it might have been Einstein, said something like, you cannot use your old frame of emotional mind or your old frame of thinking to solve a problem that you have now, because the problem is not the food, the problem was my thinking. And so I don't know, it's really hard to put out there into the universe in words, like just sitting here on my couch, just like, you know, but there was a lot wrong with my thinking. I was very immature in 2013. That was 5 years ago, right? So yeah, this fall I've been married 5 years. So I've just grown up so much, and marriage has taught me, and this weight loss journey has taught me, and I have fought to learn and to understand my own self. And I'm not finished. I don't know where I'm going completely, but I'm growing and I'm changing. And I feel a little at peace, kind of. And it's crazy because like now all of a sudden, like a lot of parts of my life, like my marriage and my family and stuff going on, and even today when I went to church, the sermon was about Exodus, and it was about God like drawing you out, like drawing you, like you having these different obstacles in your way, and how these obstacles grow you and draw you closer to God, or your God, whatever you want to call it. You don't even, you know, like there's just something about, you can just call it the universe if you want to, how it just kind of like uses these like life experiences that are so challenging, that it's just like your obstacle, and it just grows you and it draws you out to draw you closer to your true self of, you know, like it just, I'm just going on and on. But anywho, I hope I don't sound too stupid, but I hope it makes some sense. But yeah, I really honestly, when I started out, I just gonna say this one last thing. When I started out doing this YouTube thing, I remember my main objective was just to come on here to document, and I feel like in a way that was my way of like shirking responsibility in some kind of way, shape, or form. Like, this is for me. Like, once again, it was my selfishness. Like, I'm just doing this to document it because it's for me and I'm all that matters. And like, don't hold me responsible. Universe, don't hold me responsible, as a, member of the world or whatever. And I was like, it's just for my own documentation. If you want to watch, cool, watch. You cannot go on a weight loss journey and find some aha moments, as Oprah calls them, or some successes, or some like, you just make discoveries. You can't help but share these. And I mean, you just can't. And so there's so many like Instagram things I follow, and some I follow, then some I unfollow, and like, their paths are just way different than mine, and like, but a lot of them I follow, and I realize how interdependent we all are. And it wasn't until I was just reading this last book, I was reading that I'm not dependent, but I was so highly independent that I didn't realize how much I needed interdependence. Like, I need community. Like, I need, in not necessarily Instagram, but I need inspiration from others and knowledge from others. And we are all better when we share it. So like, I just really realized, like, before even the whole interdependence thing, that this is not about just me hoarding information and documenting it. I really now have come to the point where I would love to help people. Like, I hope I do help people. Like, there are some people on Instagram and on YouTube who they're just like, I lost 80 pounds and this is what I ate and this is what I did. I see way too many bigger people on this earth, and I see the struggle. Like, I see you. Like, I literally see you. Like, I see you in QT getting a hot dog and a bag of chips and a soda, and I can see it in your eyes. Like, I see you. I see you at Golden Cross. I see you. I see you. I see the woman who's like walking to the UPS store, and I see the pain you have in your body when you walk. I see your size and I see that pain, and I've never quite experienced it, but maybe a tinge of it. Maybe that tinge of walking around Walmart too much. And I'm like, dang, my back, like, I see it. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who are struggling, and no diet is working for you. Like, no real diet is working for you. And there's something like, there, you have to figure it out. But I think so many people just say, screw it. Like, it's too hard. It's so hard. Like, I cannot figure it out. Like, so I'm just going to be happy. I'm not going to go on a diet my whole entire life and suffer, because it's suffering. Sometimes you suffer, and it's way beyond a diet. Like, there are people who can just follow a diet and be fine. Oh, hey, I gained a few pounds. Like, after I had my kid, I got fat, so I just went on this diet and I've been doing good. It's so much more than that. It's such it's such a whole rounded, like, entire, like, it's all of you. It's your spirituality, it's your emotional well-being, it's your human growth. It's that needs to grow, and that is what is really what's going on. And the food isn't the problem. The food is actually the solution. The food was my coping tool, how I was getting through my day. And what is the real underlying reason? And I'm not saying like research and find yourself and dig deep and this and that and the other, but there's something there, and hopefully this has been a little bit of a message for you. I don't care how big you are, 500 pounds, 400 pounds, 250 pounds, 300 pounds, if you're a 300-pound woman like me, like, who's been trying to lose weight and you tried everything and you can't, like, there's something wrong. Like, do some research, like, look up like some addiction stuff, like, don't give up. Like, there's the answer out there. Like, you can do it. Like, I can do it. And this is the thing. This might seem counterintuitive, But for right now, these 3 pieces of paper, they help me. They're action, and they're an action. They're not perfect. I'm sure a lot of people would have an issue with my meal plan, but I put it on paper. I'm sticking to it. I don't have to eat 1,100, 1,200 calories and restrict until I'm crazy. I can eat a fair amount of food. 1,600 calories, I eat it and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of food. I can do this. And I don't have to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. I can lose 100 pounds in however long it takes me to lose it. And I just follow my plan. And you know what the crazy thing is that really, really, really gives me a lot of relief? So I've gone up and down so many different avenues of thinking when it comes to God. And I go to church now. I used to not. There was a point in my life when I was like, there's no God, like screw this. Like I've literally, you know, had a lot of ups and downs, in and outs. And like I just have gone through it all. Let's just put it that way. So one thing that I try to, that really, really helps me is I try to remember this. I am not in control of my body losing or gaining weight. And you might be thinking, yeah, you are. You're the reason you're fat. You ate it. I'm only in control of what I put inside my mouth, but my body, whether it's created by a creator or if it's a wonderful act of chaos and evolution, whatever it is you believe, that is what makes your body lose weight. You can go to a doctor and you can do all this and the other, but your body heals itself. Like your doctor can prescribe this or that or the other, but your body is designed to heal, and your body knows how to lose the weight. All you really have control over is what you put in your mouth. So for me, when I break it down into that, I free myself of the pressures of being in control of my very own weight loss. I'm not. Like, I cannot make myself lose weight. My body already knows how to lose weight. My body intrinsically knows this. My brain is wired for it. Thousands of years of evolution. And if you believe in a creator that created your body knows how to do it without you. All you have control over is what you put in your mouth. Let that be your focus. Stop tripping over the huge enormity of weight you have to lose. I still, for some reason, cannot believe it's even fathomable for me to lose weight. I've been fat my whole life. It's like impossible. But what I can do is what I can do today, and I just eat what's on my meal plan. And my calorie max is my nutritional boundary, and I stay within that. My list of foods that I allow myself, that's a boundary. I stay within that. And I don't sweat the small stuff. I just chill out. And it is what it is. And I don't think I can heal my body. I'm not capable of it. My body knows how to do that by itself. Isn't that such a freeing thing? Like, I can stop worrying about losing weight, and I can start living my life, and I can start being a better person, and I can just, you know, worry about what I put in my mouth for today. And that's it. So anywho, I'm going to end there because I've been talking for a very long time. And yes, I am so sorry that I don't upload more videos, but it takes me a lot of time to edit this. And if you want to literally see my day-to-day, just follow me on Instagram, seriously, because I'll probably post a lot more there than here. But I will continue to update you, and I'm so this right here is freedom. Like, I'm free. Like this, some, you know, self-reflection and relieving that obsessiveness, like going keto taught me about that. I'm so glad I went keto. Like, it just helps me to relieve that food obsessive behavior. It's awesome. There's so many, I know there's so many different layers of this, but hopefully you can get something out of it. Hopefully, this is not for my own documentation, guys. This is so it can help you. I hope there are some people on here watching who are like totally ready to give up and they see this. And you know what? I would love to like find someone to help do that, because like we can support each other. Like let's trade notes. Do you know what I mean? Like let's talk. So if you want to talk or whatever, I'm totally cool with like reaching out to me. Like let's exchange numbers. Like let's get to know each other and like, you know, yeah. So okay guys, I'm gonna let you go. Mwah. Have a good one, and I will try to make more videos. Bye.